A storm is brewing over American industry. It is a political tempest of unprecedented scale. The target is the heart of American manufacturing. The auto industry is in the crosshairs. This is not about competition. This is not about innovation. This is about a single powerful threat. Former President Donald Trump has issued a stark warning. His words have sent shockwaves. Detroit, Silicon Valley, the future of electric vehicles, a future America has invested billions in, now hangs precariously in the balance. The very foundation of the nation's green energy ambitions is shaking. Power, politics, panic. It began with a simple yet explosive declaration. A declaration that could unravel decades of progress. Tesla, General Motors, Ford. These companies have bet their futures on a transition away from gasoline. The stakes could not be higher. The American auto industry is facing a moment of truth. A crisis born not in a factory or a lab, but from the podium of a political rally. The words landed like a bombshell. They were delivered with signature force at a rally in Michigan, the historic home of the American automobile. Donald Trump, eyeing a return to the presidency, looked out at the crowd and drew a line in the sand. He spoke directly to the auto executives. He told them to halt their electric vehicle expansion plans immediately. He called the push for EVs a green new disaster and a hoax that was killing American jobs and enriching foreign adversaries. His message was not a suggestion. It was an ultimatum, a direct and unambiguous threat to the industry's future. He promised a 100% tariff on any electric vehicle that companies continued to produce if he were to win the next election. "Stop the madness," he declared, his voice echoing through the arena. "Stop building these cars that nobody wants. We will put a tariff on every single one of them, and you will not be able to sell them. I am telling you now, so you have time to prepare." This was not just campaign rhetoric. It was perceived as a direct policy threat, a promise to use the full power of the presidency to punish companies that did not comply with his vision for the industry. At Tesla, the epicenter of the EV revolution, the news was met with a mix of disbelief and defiance. A 100% tariff would be a death sentence. CEO Elon Musk, never one to shy away from a public battle, took to his social media platform, X, almost immediately. His response was not one of panic, but of calculated opposition. He posted a simple message: "Tesla is for the people of Earth. We will not be intimidated by politics. The future is electric." The post went viral within minutes, a digital rallying cry for the company and its supporters. Behind the scenes, the situation was far more tense. Sources inside Tesla's Austin Gigafactory described a series of emergency meetings. Musk, known for his hands-on and often volatile management style, was reportedly furious. His public defiance was a strategic move. It was designed to frame the conflict not as a political squabble, but as a battle for progress against backward-thinking forces. He was positioning Tesla as the defender of the future, a narrative central to the company's brand. But this defiance is a high-stakes gamble. While Musk projects confidence, the company's stock tells a different story. He is wagering the future of his entire company on the idea that EV momentum is unstoppable. For General Motors, the threat felt like a devastating betrayal. The legacy automaker had staked its revival on an all-electric future. CEO Mary Barra had stood before the world and pledged to invest $35 billion through 2025 to transform the company. They were in the middle of launching a slate of new EVs, from the Hummer EV to the Silverado EV. Trump's ultimatum pulled the rug out from under them. Unlike Tesla, GM is a legacy company with deep roots in traditional manufacturing, powerful union ties. The political calculations were far more complex, and the financial exposure in some ways even greater. Mary Barra's response was swift but measured, a stark contrast to Musk's public defiance. She released a carefully worded official statement. "General Motors is committed to an electric future that is inclusive and accessible for everyone," it began. "We believe in American manufacturing and the jobs it creates. We urge our political leaders to work with the industry to support a stable and predictable policy environment that allows us to invest with confidence and keep the United States at the forefront of automotive innovation." It was a plea for stability, a desperate call for reason in the face of political chaos. Behind the polished corporate statement, however, a sense of deep crisis was taking hold.
It's a nightmare.
GM is on the brink, and its leader is fighting for its future. At Ford Motor Company, the news from the Trump rally hit like a physical blow. The company, an icon of American industry, had made a monumental pivot. Under CEO Jim Farley, Ford split into two divisions: Ford Blue, Ford Model E. This was a fundamental restructuring of the 122-year-old company. They poured billions into projects like F-150 Lightning Mustang Mach-E. They bet the farm that American drivers would embrace electric trucks and muscle cars. Trump's threat put that whole strategy in jeopardy. Jim Farley, known for straight talk, found himself in an impossible position. His public response showed resolve and deep concern. Ford has been building cars in America for over a century. We are here to serve our customers. Customers want choice. They want exciting electric vehicles like our F-150 Lightning. We cannot and will not abandon our customers or our commitment to leading the electric revolution. Ford stands at a crossroads, its legacy hanging in the balance. The political shockwave did not stop at the executive suites. It crashed directly onto the factory floors, where the real work of building America's automotive future is done. In the immediate aftermath, the first tangible effect was a sudden, jarring halt. GM and Ford announced a temporary pause on aspects of their EV production expansion. Construction on new battery plants slowed. Installation of new assembly line equipment for future EV models was frozen. The hum of progress suddenly fell silent. For the workers, this uncertainty is terrifying. Many had just completed extensive retraining programs, training for EV manufacturing, training for battery manufacturing. They had embraced the change, believing it was key to job security. Now they are left in limbo. Union leaders held emergency sessions with company management.
Our members were promised a bridge to the future. Now it feels like that bridge is collapsing before we can even cross it.
These are good-paying jobs. These are our communities. We can't afford to be pawns in a political game. The silence on the factory floor is not just absence of noise, it's the sound of anxiety. A reminder of how quickly political words can impact real lives. Wall Street's reaction to the political threat was brutal and immediate. The stock market is a creature that despises uncertainty. Trump's ultimatum injected a lethal dose of it into the automotive sector. Early trading made the verdict clear. Billions of dollars in market value were wiped out. TSLA plunged. Investors priced in a 100% tariff. Tesla brand impact. Elon Musk's Defiance couldn't stop the bleeding. General Motors stock tumbled. Ford stock tumbled. Investors feared multi-billion-dollar EV strategies becoming liabilities. Mary Barra's vision under threat. Jim Farley's vision under threat. The sell-off wasn't only about tariffs, it was about paralysis for long-term decisions. Analysts rushed to comment. "This is unprecedented," said one veteran analyst on a major business network. "What is the value of a 5-year plan if an election can invalidate it?" Auto sector deemed uninvestable until politics cleared. Ripple effects hit suppliers. Battery manufacturers fall. Semiconductor companies fall. Lithium miners fall. The entire EV ecosystem was shaken. Wall Street priced in political risk. The result, a sea of red. The American auto industry stands at a perilous junction. The road ahead is shrouded in a thick fog of political uncertainty. One path leads toward the electric future that its leaders have meticulously planned and invested in. The other path leads backward, forced by a political agenda that seeks to halt this transition in its tracks. The decision of which path to take is no longer in the hands of the engineers, the executives, or even the consumers. It rests on the outcome of an election and the volatile whims of politics. The American dream of leading the world in next-generation manufacturing is in limbo. What happens next? In the short term, the paralysis will likely continue. Companies like GM and Ford will be hesitant to commit billions more to projects that could be rendered obsolete by a tariff. They will hedge their bets, delay major decisions, and hope for clarity. This hesitation comes at a cost. While American companies pause, their global competitors, particularly in China and Europe, will continue to surge ahead. They will innovate, build, and capture market share. The risk is that by the time the political storm in the United States passes, the American auto industry will have been lapped by the competition, a self-inflicted wound with long-lasting consequences. The central question is whether the momentum for electric vehicles is truly reversible. Have we reached a tipping point where consumer demand, technological advancement, and environmental concerns will ultimately overpower political threats? The CEOs of Tesla, GM, and Ford are betting that the answer is yes. They are hoping that the American public will not want their choices limited, and that the economic benefits of EV production, the jobs, the factories, the technology, will speak for themselves. Ultimately, this crisis is about more than just cars.